Right, welcome back. So today we're going to be changing a chassis on Limitdew. Limitdew had a pretty bad accident, and apparently some stuff is taken apart. The steering's off, and the sensor wire's off. So looks like he also moved the ESC over. God, that ESC is down. I don't know what he used to put the ESC on this chassis, but it is definitely strong. So let's see. I had the ESC over here. He moved it to the front. That is the fan wire. This is the switch wire. So this is the Coke can motor. And the receiver box is loose. Those are pretty smashed up. Oh, this front grub screw is falling off. Let's see if this is the right one. Yeah, that grub screw's falling off. There is no Loctite on it. Yep. That's gonna need some Loctite when we get that put back together. So let's see. First thing I'm gonna do is take off the two right side wheels. So that I can get to these bolts easier. Two screws for the brace. The brace should pop off. Wing, we're going to remove this. RC Speed Monster wing. they tend to, on any impact, they tend to shatter. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Since there's only half of it left. Oh, found the servo screw. Came out. There's our sensor wire. See, you installed the wing first and then pulled the wrapper. But it says Limitdew, D-U-I, D-E-U. I don't know. Whatever. Rest the Limitdew's wing. All right. So all of that pile of hardware, don't need that wing anymore. So now that I got that done, the next thing I normally do, we can lose that, is I will take off the one bolt here. Now this one, for some reason, has a Phillips screw in it now. I don't know why, because we don't use Phillips. Oh, and it's a self-tapping screw deal. Don't know what that's about either. So, next thing we're going to do is take off Limitdew's front nose. Throw the screws in there. I don't know if you guys have seen me do this a few times. I'm gonna bring this a little closer. So I take off these two. Flip it on its side. That's why I don't work on a bench. Then we're going to grab the big bolts. One there. One here. Grab the two right here. Now these should be longer. There is screws on the back side, so don't push real hard. And that should allow us to slide off the whole front. Then we're going to do the same to the back. Four. These four will be the rear. There we go. That'll remove our rear. Careful, keep all the nuts in there because we will need them. When putting it back together, you can see the chassis is pretty hammered on this. My guy Floyd, a buddy of mine, he is real hard on his RCs, but he loves to play. He uses them. So this aluminum piece did get bent up a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the front and rear diff as an assembly. Now this side's going to be a little harder because we will have to heat up these screws here. but we can go ahead and remove the rear. So 4 bolts for the rear, and I do try to keep them organized. I'm going to pop off these 4 in front. Now I'm going to check the steering and see if I can get the steering off. Oh, they are turning on the top. That one's turning on the top too. So I'm going to try to tighten down the top. So that I can get the bottom one loose. And then we're going to do the other one the same way. The whole assembly should not unscrew now. And looks like there's no Loctite on them. And then I need the 2 small screws. So there are 2 small screws for the hinge pin. And then now the steering and everything should come out as an assembly. That's the front. That drive shaft is stuck in there. So the rear, we are going to pop it off with that brace. There's our rear with the brace attached. Ooh, that's some grease on me. So now that we got that off, let's do our motor mount. So there's our motor mount and motor, and the 5 screws that go with that, and they should all be the same length. Now we're going to knock off this battery tray. Since there's only one, a lot of screws to that battery tray, but only one short. And it looks like all these screws should be the same. Except the one short screw, which goes in the back. So there's our battery tray. And then we'll do, there's the battery tray adjuster. And then we're going to go ahead and do this side. Even though the battery tray is not here, it has the holder on it. That's a long screw. That's the wrong one. Not like it really matters. And then the other two got pushed through, or somehow they got attached on there. That's wrong as well. So we'll get that fixed up. Get the right screws in that one. And we're going to do our front brace. That's going to be for our front brace. So everything's off the chassis now. And normally you'd be done, but I got to cut this off now. Looks like he has a lot of something, epoxy or something, holding the ESC down. But it doesn't need that much. That is on there, guys. Wow. That is in there. Alright, I'll be back. I'm getting grease all over me from these diffs. Alright, so broke up the hammer and the chisel. I've been hammering away at this to finally break this thing loose. So the whole bottom of this thing is covered in some pretty strong silicone. That definitely is too much silicone. You don't need to silicone the whole base. It's just a little spot in the center and push it down. That's way too much silicone. That ESC was never going to come off. So this front corner is pushed down and this side is up. So that chassis is done. Here's our new chassis, and there's the flex you're supposed to have in a new chassis. It's literally bowed in the center, so you end up with flex. When your chassis has been bent, you'll literally have no bow, no flex, nothing. You see? This one's been bent up. Now we can start the reassembly. But I'm not going to tighten this down. It's just going to go in here relatively softly. Because we will have to get it on the steering. And we're going to grab the rear. God, that tire is shot. And it's blown out. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to clean up some parts because I need to clean up this assembly, clean up that assembly, and then we'll be right back. Alright. Went ahead and got the front and the rear washed up. Plates backwards again. Gonna get this stuff popped back in there. corner screws. That's for the hinge pin brace. For the steering. For the steering. Get the wheel set on. Now we're going to do the rear. God, all these tires are shot. So Limitdew is going to need a whole new set of tires. Which means I got this brace on the wrong side. Lightly in there. Now this will need some flex to snap it in. He had that funky Phillips screw. I don't know what that's about, but he must have stripped out that aluminum or something. Let's get the rear put on. I got a couple started. I'll turn it down so you guys can probably see. So now we got our roller. And then I just noticed that this does have flow packs center drive shaft. That's probably why these things are stuck. That creates way too much resistance. The rear seems to be okay. Well, let's see how that thing reacts. So we should have a smooth roller. So I'm going to get some Loctite put on this diff cup that was loose. Red Loctite. Since it already backed out. That one was loose too. No more loose diff cups. All right. Let's pop in this receiver box. I think that's what these screws are for. At least I hope that's what these screws are for. Let's see. There we go. When you think about it, changing a chassis on an Arrma really is not hard. They've made it so simple. Now, a battery tray deal. Just need to make sure that that the straps aren't like underneath the battery tray or something. Alright, battery trays are on, motor's on, straps in there good. So I think the next thing to do, gotta figure out what's bent on his steering. Because he broke something. I think he bent those steering rods. So I've been making sure that I tighten up wheels. Even though I know that these tires have to be changed, I still tighten them up because I don't know if somebody's going to run it. I have a tendency of not tightening wheels. That's going to run over there. This ESC is going to go right here. For the front end. Whatever you do, don't shove these bolts in. Now we'll put the rear on. Sure those are both in. The wing supports. Wing supports are on. There we go. That's how you change a chassis on a Limitless. Don't over tighten these screws. So all I got to do now is just glue down the ESC. So I'll use silicone just like he did, just not as much. And then find the stock rear wing. And Limitdew will live to fight another day. So there we go, guys. I am going to have to find out why the steering's so hard. Something must be bent on the front from him slamming into the curb. So we will look into that. Just wanted to show you guys what it takes to change out a chassis on a Limitless Limitdew. So Limitdew does have a new chassis. Now we'll work on fixing. Oh, he got a bunch of new parts too. So I'm going to change out some of that stuff. Yeah, he's got new splitter, new rear diffuser. He bought some parts here. He got all the new plastic. But I don't see the wing. He doesn't have a wing anywhere. But he does have a lot of new parts. So there we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about changing the chassis on Limitdew. So I'm going to get a rear wing put on this thing, and I'm going to glue down the ESC, which you guys don't need to watch. I'm going to just put a dab of silicone underneath it, tape it overnight, let it dry. And then next one, we're going to check and see why this steering is locked up. So once we figure that out, we'll be back with you guys. We'll figure out the fix for that front end. So there we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.